Hello everyone and welcome to the Atheneum. Today's video is the first of many in this new series, where we will keep up with the lore of the most recent events and updates. And this time we're gonna talk about the Halloween 2021 event. Enjoy! The campaign sounds interesting and fun lore-wise. It is called Spirit and Blood, and the flavor text goes like this. Rotmg and Septavius have recruited mighty lieutenants to aid them in their struggle over the title of Halloween King. Bring them down or join them. Just from that we can gather there's going to be some friendly competition between Rotmg and Septavius over who's going to be Halloween King. I wonder what the Pumpkin Master is thinking right now. The first ST set we're going to take a look at is from Septavius' side, and that's the Ghostly Banshee. Now, some backstory on Banshees. For those who don't know Banshees, they're strong female undeads, and they most of the time have a vengeful motive. Now, it is said that Banshees' scream is deadly to anything and anyone who can hear. So with that, let's look at the flavor text and make our own theories. This is one of those ST sets where the flavor text tells a continuous story, so let's take a look at them in order with the story, and then we're gonna review them separately. So it goes like this. When the curious summoner first laid hands upon this artifact, it emitted a haunting shriek. The terror it stirred within her was enough to predict her demise. Now fated to perpetuate the Banshee's curse, the summoner wielded power over lesser spirits. Her robe, once boldly red, was reduced to ghostly tatters, and she would always carry an overpowering desire of revenge upon those that set her on this cursed path. She would pursue them for eternity. Well, that was spooky, if anything. Now let's look at the items. The first item is the wand. It's called Tormented Shriek, making reference to the scream that the Banshees use as a weapon. Whoever hears it dies. And in the story it said that when the summoner grabbed it, the Banshee curse was afflicted upon her. The second item is called the Ghastly Mace, and in the story it said the Banshee holds control over lesser spirit, which makes sense in reference to the summoner, because the summoner with the mace controls other creatures. The next item is the Lacerated Gown, and in the story it said that it was once boldly red, and I believe that's directly making reference to the tier 13 robe, so this summoner was probably wearing the robe when she had the unlucky encounter with the cursed wand. And the fourth and final item is the ring, the Unresolved Grudge, and this is directly tied to the Banshees and the whole vengeful grudge that they have after life or after death, and that's why they stay in the spirit form. The second ST set we're going to look at is from Lord Rotmg's side, and basically transforms you into a Lycan. This set does not provide us with any insightful lore. The flavor text is pretty bland and generic. I think everyone at this point knows what a werewolf is, so I'm not gonna waste any time on that. The only thing I'd like to point out, which is pretty interesting, is that the ring is called the Moonstone Ring, and I think that's why the Lycan can stay a werewolf indefinitely, in contrast to the werewolves in the cemetery, because it's literally carrying the moon in its finger. The last two sets that we're going to talk about expand more on the lore, and they're basically the rivals of the first two. They are the heroes' response to the lieutenants of Rotmg and Septavius coming in. Let's look at them. The first set we have from the hero side is the Priest ArchBishop Exorcist set, and it would be the hunter for the Summoner Banshee that we saw. This one gives us some great lore with the flavor text. Let's review the items. The staff is pretty interesting. It's called a Holy Artifact, and the flavor text goes like this. When he heard about the horrifying Banshee at Septavius' side, the Exorcist set out on his holiest quest yet, wielding an artifact wrested from the very hands of a god. We cannot be sure what god they're referring to, so let's follow the next items and see if we can figure it out. The tome is called Tome of Exorcism, and the flavor text is pretty long. Let's look at it. It takes zealotry bordering on madness to even dare utter the scathing words within this tome. Its very contents blurred his vision and set his head to spinning. But he would dare, and set his head to spinning. Okay, this tome, it's giving us some spooky vibes. We see on the character's skin that it has red eyes, hinting at some evil, and maybe the usage of the tome has led to some corruption. Let's continue. The robe is called Garb of the Ordained, and the flavor text goes like this. He would face this threat wearing his most ceremonial garments. Okay, pretty straightforward. The priest wears his most holiest and ceremonial robe to battle the evil Banshee. It makes sense. Let's go to the ring. The ring is called the Pontifex ring, and it says, the origin of the stone in this ring and its connection to the staff that bore the Banshee's curse, it's a secret he would carry to his grave. Okay, this one lets us theorize a bit. It directly connects this set to the Banshee one, in a more deeper way, because it leads me to believe that the priest might be the direct cause of the curse, or maybe he trapped the Banshee on that wand, and when the summoner grabbed the wand, the Banshee was released, and now he heard the Banshee was released, so he decided to go after it. Now the connection between the ring specifically and the wand, I'm not sure. Leave your theories in the comments. Maybe the ring has a curse inside too, and it goes beyond the tome. I explained the Tome of Exorcism might be influencing the priest in some evil ways, but this one was a fun one. Leave your theories in the comments. The second set for the hero's side and the last set for us to review is the cursed CurseBreaker Huntress set. As you might have guessed, this is the enemy of the Lycan Warrior, and as the name suggests, she might have a curse herself. Let's analyze the items and uncover the lore. The bow is called Silver Revolvers, and it's what it sounds like. Silver revolvers. 2 revolvers shooting silver bullets. The flavor text says, Lord Ruthven had acquired a veritable monster from who knows where. Luckily, her bullets cured lycanthropy. So, really interesting. Well, the monster is the Lycan from the set, and this is already connecting to the Lycan because her bullets specifically cure lycanthropy. The trap is called Consecrated Trap, and it says she had the Exorcist himself bless this trap. She hoped it would be enough to help catch a miscreation of this size. The miscreation again being the Lycan, the warrior Lycan, and the Exorcist priest. He hooked it up for the Huntress and blessed the trap. We can see the cross on the trap, just as the cross on the priest. So, fun connection. The piece of armor is called Metal Plated Corset, and the flavor text goes like this. Of course, a quirk of her condition was the overwhelming desire to look great, giving us a hint on what the curse is. Let's look at the ring. The ring is called Vial of Sustenance, and the flavor text says, "And still, she would not let the vampire's curse she carried define her, just as she would go on to rid others of their own curses, with violence if needed." This is the piece that gave us the most lore. The ring is not a ring, it's a vial of blood, because the cursed Huntress, her curse is being a vampire, and she has to feed herself. She's a good vampire though, so she helps others get rid of their own curses, so she's gonna help the Lycan and not kill it or exorcise it as the priest. But yeah, this was I think the most fun one and my favorite set of the bunch. Another item I wanted to talk about is the final reward for the Halloween campaign, and that's the Cloak of Eerie Trepidation. Ooh, the final reward must be something cool. Well, the flavor text doesn't give us enough information. Again, I wish they took their time to like put some more lore into this, you know. But we got something else, guys. Something I've been waiting till the end to show you, and that's a floating ghost rogue skin. So we're getting a bunch of skins. None of them say anything relatively important to the lore except this one. Let's look at it. The flavor text goes like this: "Good friend of Septavius. They once went to a disco together. Septavius was having a fabulous time, while this floating ghost was boogieing all night long along with him." Nice. Well, we now know what Septavius does with his minions when he's off work. So, yep. All jokes aside, thank you for tuning in, guys. This is going to be a recurring series. As new updates come, we're going to do new lore and talk about the new stuff. Sometimes there's going to be a lot we're going to talk about, sometimes there's going to be not much, but we'll make what we can out of it. And I'll do a future video on Halloween. This is just the update one, but I'll do one on focusing on the Halloween holidays in the realm, same as Oryxmas and Month of the Mad God, what they mean in the lore. So thank you everyone for tuning in, thank you for your visit to the Atheneum, and I will see you next time.